Welcome to the RIISE podcast, where inclusivity is our priority. Hello, everybody. My name is Sean English, and welcome back to the RIISE podcast. I wanted to introduce my guest, Noelle Lambert. Noelle, can you say hi?
Hi Sean. Hi everyone. Thank you so much for allowing me to be here today.
Of course. Well, thank you everyone for tuning in, and thank you Noelle for coming out. And I'm just going to do a quick introduction about her, and then we're going to get right into the good stuff. So Noelle is actually the founder of the Born to Run Foundation, and she lost her leg in an accident, a moped accident in 2016, and she lost it below the knee. Her hometown is Londonderry, New Hampshire, and she graduated University of Massachusetts Lowell in 2019 with a major in criminal justice. And she is a 24-year-old member of the national team here in the USA. And she runs 100 meter, correct?
Yes, 100 meter.
Oh, I could never do that. So we'll be talking a little bit about her life, her story, if there's any changes that she would like to see in this movement that we're all a part of. And if there's anything that she wants to talk about, we're going to keep it very, very chill and low key as always. But first, I wanted to shout out our group. We got a nice little shirt. That's kind of cool. We got a nice RIISE shirts now, so I don't have to wear like the last shirt in my in my closet. So I actually have a shirt that I can wear on the podcast now. So that's pretty cool.
That's awesome. I want one. Those look like really cool shirts.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. You got one of yours on right now. If you want to show the camera,
I do. I have I'm always wearing. This is all I wear. I swear to God. Born to Run gear, USA gear now.
Yeah, you gotta rep it.
Always.
So I guess we can start chronologically. Talk to me about starting as an athlete in college. We won't talk about what happened in 2016 yet. Just talk to me about kind of your whole life and getting to that point in competing in college, because I was also someone that was being recruited and just really wanted to perform at the next level. So I can understand kind of what you will talk about right here. So, but I just want the viewers to hear kind of what that was about.
Yeah. So, I mean, growing up, I have 3 older brothers and they were always big on sports. My whole family was. So I always wanted to be like them. And that kind of transitioned me over into playing sports. And I mean, in high school, as a 3-sport athlete, playing soccer, basketball, and lacrosse, I never went through like a time where I wasn't being active in some sort of way. And that's what got me actually recruited to play Division I lacrosse at UMass Lowell. I think that's like one of the biggest reasons why I actually went to a pretty great college is because of sports. And then transitioning over into my freshman year of college, I mean, the big reason why I did UMass Lowell was very big to me was because it was a newly Division I program. And so I knew that like being a part of something like that would be extremely special, and just helping grow the program would be a cool opportunity. And I knew that I would probably get playing time right off the bat, whereas like a lot of people go to Division I schools and they don't see playing time. I mean, unless they're like the top in the country until like their sophomore and junior years. So I went into UMass Lowell freshman year. I started every single game. I was the leading point scorer. So like I was really excited for my future at UMass Lowell. And I mean, I was on the all rookie team for my conference. I was rookie of the year. So it was a really cool thing to be a part of. And it was, I mean, as a team, we only had 1 win just because we were a 2nd year Division I program. We weren't as good as the other teams, but I mean, over the years growing that program, it was definitely something that was very special to me.
Yeah, that's awesome to be part of that, like that grandfather stage where everything else after you is partially because of you put in that work and you helped grow this program. And if it wasn't that group of people that decided it'd be something that they wanted to do, is awesome. And then I think that says a lot about like moving forward in your life's character. It's that you wanted to be a part of something that's bigger than yourself, and you want to do it in any way that you can. So I think that's a really cool shadowing experience.
Yeah.
So talk to me about that transition from going to a all rookie team and rookie of the year in your conference to later on kind of now like competing at this prominent level in a completely different sport category, you could say. So talk to me about that transition and how that was for you. You can touch on your accident if you feel comfortable.
Yeah, I mean, when the accident happened in 2016, obviously, when I found out that I was an amputee, I mean, I really did think that my life was over, and I thought that I'd never be able to walk again, let alone play sports. But then these amazing people reaching out to me who were amputees, a lot of the Boston Marathon survivors, and hearing their stories, and they were literally sitting there telling me that I was still going to be able to do whatever I wanted to with my life. And so that kind of support system was what got me playing lacrosse again and got me back to the practice field and then eventually to the game. And I mean, transitioning over to track and field, I definitely think playing a Division I sport and that competitive nature and competing with people with two legs, I mean, even though they're two completely different sports, that helped me tremendously just because the competitive aspect of it. And I mean, every day at practice when we do run tests, I was competing alongside people with two legs, so I was trying to keep up, and that just got me to the point where transitioning over to track and being comfortable with running alongside people. And I always had that competitive nature in me. Like I was always that person that needed to win a sprint, even though if it had nothing to do with anything. And so getting to do that really did help. But I would say transitioning over, like the mental aspect of it, I mean, it's really easy to be a part of a team sport and to rely on other people. But like when you transition over to an individual sport, everything is on you and it's on yourself. So that was definitely something I needed to get used to. And I'm still getting used to it now. I just tend to overthink everything and analyze everything. And I just need to kind of quiet my mind and just run. So I'm still learning. I still have so much to learn. It's crazy. I still consider myself a rookie, even though I've been doing it for about 2 years now. But I mean, I'm grateful for the opportunity and grateful for everything that's been able to come my way.
That's awesome. And I think you've seen experience in the running community, whether it's competitive or just very casual. Like you said, like the Paralympic the Boston Marathon survivors were reaching out to you. My doctor that actually did my amputation went and ran the Boston Marathon and then came back and brought me a Boston Strong shirt, and I wear it to this day. I wore it in my first episode. It's like you feel a part of this community that's just way bigger than yourself. Again,
absolutely,
like we talked about earlier. So I think that's awesome. And you consider yourself a rookie, but it's been so like soon since everything has happened. I mean, in what 4.5 years you've started this Born to Run Foundation. You've recovered. You played college lacrosse. You graduated 2 years ago, and now you're here pursuing the next level and competing with Team USA. It's incredible. Can you talk to me about how quickly of a recovery you made? Because it seems like you just went straight from like, all right, hospital, and then like somebody talked to you and you're like, all right, now I'm back to being the best that I can be and the best team, and just So talk to me about how quickly of a recovery you made, because it's incredible. I know people that are still trying to make their way around right now, and it seemed like you had the right mindset to begin with. So
I would definitely say like it definitely seems a lot easier. I mean, everyone goes through difficult times, but I really think just the community that I had and the support system, I mean, being a part of a collegiate program and having that support system alone, that was one of the biggest reasons why I was able to actually pick myself up. And also I was very fortunate and very lucky that was the only thing wrong with me. My amputation, I didn't have a scratch on my body. So I was only in the hospital for 5 days. And like, I mean, a lot of people, whenever they're having amputations, I mean, they're in the hospital for 1 to 2 months, 1 to 5 months. I mean, everybody's different, but that can really pay a toll on your mindset and staying positive. So I was very fortunate in that aspect, but I would just definitely say just keeping myself busy and always telling myself, even when I didn't even have a prosthetic, always going to practice every single day, being a part of something. That was just keeping my mind off things and just really didn't make me feel depressed. But the community I had, the support system, like my family members, my friends, they just never really let me kind of settle with it. They just always kept me busy, kept my mind occupied, kept me positive. And I mean, I would always go home like after practice one day and like I would honestly be sitting there like upset, and like my support system with my mother, like she was like my therapist. So having that, but I think just the main important thing was always keeping myself busy, and that's honestly what kept me from being depressed. And it was always finding small goals but also having the end goal of, okay, I want to return playing lacrosse. So when that ended, I thought to myself, okay, I don't really want this to be over yet. I want to work to something else. I want to work for something else. And that was when the Paralympic track and field came into my head, and just thinking that, okay, I have so long to go, and like I have so many different things I need to be doing with this. So that just helped me even more. It's crazy. Yeah, you say 4.5 years, but it honestly has felt like a lifetime. Like I don't remember my life with two legs. It's crazy.
Yeah, I say that all the time, and people think I'm crazy, but it's the same way. So
yeah, it's the new way of life, and like you never think back, because like you don't want to think about like what your life was. But I mean, I always say like I'm so grateful for my accident, just because of all the opportunities have been given to me and all the things I've been able to do with my life that I couldn't imagine doing with two legs.
Yeah, I say that all the time. And just to touch on that, we can talk about a few of the things that you have done and some of the awards you've won. Boston Celtics, that's pretty cool. If you want to talk about that for a little bit.
Yeah, I got the Heroes Among Us award. And I mean, I've always been a huge Celtics fan growing up. That was probably, I mean, them and the Patriots, but I mean, like the 2008 championship team, like I was always very adamant on watching every single game and being very superstitious and stuff like that. But I mean, getting to go there, I mean, it was crazy. The game that they picked for me, they were playing the Golden State Warriors when like Kevin Durant, like when everybody was healthy. So like I got to go on the court and everything with that. It was just a really cool experience. And yeah, I mean, and then I got the Myra Kraft Award for the New England Patriots. And so that I got like a grant for the foundation. So being recognized with that, I mean, it's crazy how like the sports community has just stuck together, and like just where it's been. So I've gotten to meet a few pretty cool people because of it.
Yeah, that's awesome. I got an award with the Lions too, so we got a little rivalry.
That's awesome. Yeah. Okay. So. That's incredible.
Yeah. So you're from Boston. This is kind of the point in the podcast where I like to make like a personal transition and talk to you a little bit about that. So
yeah,
I'm gonna say some names and you tell me how you feel. All right. So Tom Brady. Talk to me a little bit.
Love him to death. Always wish him well. I was incredibly jealous that he won the Super Bowl, but I mean, I had the chance to meet him once, and he signed my prosthetic, and like I remember like repping it for a full year like that, and it stuck out. Like everyone always saw the signature, but like I had to explain like what it was. And so I mean, the nicest guy. Can't really say anything bad about him. I'm just like a jealous girlfriend that he won the championship without the Patriots, but
well, is he the greatest of all time now?
Yeah.
After that,
wait, what was that?
Is he the greatest of all time?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, going into a program his first year and winning a Super Bowl, I mean, he did have a lot of weapons and he had a lot of help, but I mean, it's still very difficult to do. I mean, it doesn't take it, like any team can come up with a bunch of superstars, but having that chemistry, that's another thing.
Yeah, I agree. How do you feel about Big Julian Edelman retiring recently?
My heart is broken, but I mean, it's understandable. But I swear to God, if he takes the year off and then goes and plays for the Bucks, I'm going to be very, very salty. So I'm very salty about the Gronk situation.
Well, Gronk was originally going to be traded to Detroit. Like I did
hear that. Yeah. And then he retired or something. Yeah.
He didn't want to go to Detroit. And I'm like, well, I don't blame you.
Yeah. He threatened to retire. That's what it was. And they brought him back.
The good old days for a sports fan right there. So let's talk a little bit about kind of like your early, like you're still very early into participating here. How long do you think you really want to do this? Because you still haven't competed at a Paralympic level yet. You've competed at the level, just not at the games. You've competed in multiple different events or multiple different races, and then in 2019 you actually brought home fourth. Like where's the end of the line for you? I don't want a definite decision, but like how long are we going to be doing this? Because it seems like you just started, and it's like you're hitting times, you're winning these events. So
yeah, I would say as long as my body allows me to do it. I mean, obviously I'm in Tokyo. I'm definitely going to do Paris 2024. But the crazy thing is like I'm transitioning my mind into thinking. I just started snowboarding and I fell in love with the sport. And now like I want to do the Winter Paralympics. So like I have I like in the back of my head, like I have it in my head that I really want to try to do Beijing 2022. So that's literally next winter. I don't know if time will allow me to do this, if I'll be able to get in the events and the qualifying times and everything that I need, but I'm definitely going to try. I'm on it. I honestly am that person. I'll just say yes to everything because I always have to keep myself busy and I always have to have different goals to keep myself occupied. I'm just never satisfied. And that's like a good and a bad thing, but I just think it'll be a really cool opportunity. I'm to go to Beijing, even if I come in dead last, like, I don't care. I just want to be like at that big stage. But on the other hand, like I'm doing the smart thing of only focusing on one sport at a time. I mean, I really shouldn't have started snowboarding literally the winter before Tokyo. Probably wasn't the smartest idea because I would probably like a lot of people get seriously injured snowboarding. So, but I've been very fortunate enough to have like great coaches for snowboarding. But yeah, I mean, I'm honestly just going to do it as long as my body will allow me to. I would love to do LA 2028 because it'll be in the United States, but I don't know. I don't know if my body can handle that. What is that like? What year is it? 7 years from now. So I'll be 30, 31. I mean, it's crazy because there are people who I compete against that are very good that are in their 30s. So, I mean, it's 100% possible. It's just how long do I want to be doing it for? I mean, I'm honestly just grateful for the opportunity. So I'm just going to keep doing it as much as I can.
That's great. I woke up at 2 p.m. today and you're over here talking about, yeah, I want to go 21, 22, 24, 26, 28. And I'm like, okay, I don't even know what I'm eating for dinner in an hour. So
yeah, it's just my brain thinking. I mean, I'm completely the same way with everything. Like I love my sleep. I think I have to get like 9 to 10 hours a night, or like I have to take a nap. It's so I always plan my day according to like how much I sleep.
Yeah, I try and do that, but recently I've been working nights because I'm a bouncer at a bar. So I get up at 4:30 and then I get home at like 5 and then I have class tomorrow at 8 and it's like, oh, this is
that's tough though. That's a very tough schedule. Like I don't think I could ever do that. Like night jobs and stuff, because then like I don't know. I give you kudos for that.
The only reason why I tried to do it is because I'm obsessed with trying to prove people wrong, and I feel like you are as well. Like when somebody tells us, like the type of person that we are, when somebody tells us we can't do it, we're gonna do it. So like, why would a bouncer be someone that's disabled? When you think of a bouncer, you think of the ex-football player that's super strong, but like I wanted to do that because people don't do it. And like yesterday I had a 3-on-3 basketball tournament. And our team name, it was me and my 2 buddies, and our team name was 2.5 Men, which I thought was pretty fun. But like I'm obsessed with like the humor and trying to prove people wrong, and I feel like you are as well.
Yes, we're literally the same person.
I know. I was reading up on your story, and I was like, wow, we are very similar. Besides Boston versus Detroit, that's the only thing.
Yeah, that is the only thing.
So I like to ask if there's anything that you would like to see change in the next few years about whether it's the Paralympic movement or certain terms or certain phrases or just anything that you just see on a daily basis that you wish wouldn't happen. And we've had all different types of answers, and I have like a few answers that differ as well. It's just, I care more about people getting the word out there and just falling in love with the sport, just watching the sport. But if there's anything like that particularly speaks out to you, this is kind of your platform to try and like change.
So I mean, I think the United States is actually doing an amazing job with the Paralympic movement. And I mean, even changing its name from the United States Olympic Committee to the United States Olympic and Paralympic Community now. And they're taking the right steps of actually getting Paralympic athletes paid the same as Olympic athletes. So I think that's amazing. I would just say like the biggest thing is like, I mean, every amputee goes through this, but like people who are able-bodied seeing amputees and just automatically thinking they're broken, or just thinking that they have a disability, they can't do this, they can't do that, when it's crazy the amount of things that people can do. And it's not because if someone can't do something, it's not because they have a disability, it's because they don't believe in themselves and they don't have the heart dedication for it. And I always am that type of person that like wants to prove people wrong, just like you said about yourself. And like one of the biggest messages that I portray is just because you have something like this happen to you, and just because you have a disability, it doesn't mean that you can't live the life that you want. And if I can go through everything that I have and come out on top and do the things that I'm doing today, then 100% so can they. So I would just say to like the able-bodied community, just because you see an amputee, like don't ever feel bad for them, because I never want someone feeling bad for me. And it's crazy because I will literally, like, if you see me out at a bar, like no one, you wouldn't think like you would feel sorry for me because of like how I dress, how I act, how just like it like resonates with me. And I think it's just because, I mean, it's definitely like plays a part when like who you surround yourself with, your friends and everything, and like how they treat you. And it's just like stuff like that. And I have so many people coming up to me when I'm at a bar and like I'm wearing shorts and a tank top, like, and I'm just like having a great time, and everyone's like, oh my God, like you're amazing. Like, I'm sorry. I'm like, don't say sorry. Like, I'm not sorry. I'm grateful that this happened to me. As you know, amputees get perks, like within life, you get to skip lines, you get handicap placards. Like, I'm living a better life than you are. So I feel sorry for you.
Exactly. I actually say the same thing. People come up and they're like, oh, I'm so sorry for you. And I'm like, I'm so sorry that you feel sorry for me. Like
Exactly.
I say that all the time. That's very interesting.
Yeah, I mean, you honestly, like, I mean, there are people, like, you never know what's going on with them. So, like, you don't just assume that they're doing okay with it. But on the other hand, don't just assume that everybody's having a bad time with it. Like, that they're having a difficult mindset about it. And I mean, I honestly forget that I'm an amputee sometimes just because of, like, how I live my life. And honestly, the people I surround myself with now, all my friends, all my family, they don't see me as someone with an amputee, who's an amputee. And it's just, like, the way I portray it and like what I put on my social media and stuff like that. And the biggest thing is your sense of humor. And like, I mean, people watching this right now, like you're disabled and like you're having a tough time with it. And if you're having a tough time with people staring at you all the time, I kid you not, humor and joking around with them will get you so far in life. And it just makes people feel so comfortable around you. And like, I was honestly telling jokes like when I didn't even have a prosthetic yet, and like I wasn't even comfortable with it with myself. Like I was just doing it for other people to not feel bad for me and not feel sorry for me. It was just the biggest way to get people to accept it. And now that's honestly like just what they see. It like I'm just what you see with me is what you get.
Yeah. My eyes are up here. We'll always get people and make them remember that, oh, I'm staring at this guy's prosthetic leg. And if I wanted to hide it, I would wear pants. Like I'm clearly to wear shorts. And there's some people that you will never even be able to tell if they're an amputee because they wear pants, but they don't limp because they're able, like basically able.
Yeah.
And
exactly.
Same way with me. Like I forget I'm an amputee. I said that today in an interview with a biomedical student here on campus. I said sometimes I forget I'm an amputee, and it's just because we put in that work in the beginning, and we could sit down and cry, but what is that going to do? Like we only
it's not like, going to do anything. It's not going to do us any good. I mean, it's funny because one of my good friends, and she's actually my teammate and like kind of my mentor. She went to the 2016 Paralympics. She's a Bologna amputee. She like said something to me that like I always say now. She says she will give people 2 looks. Like they look and then they do the double look because they don't really understand. But once they give you the 3rd look, like we're going to say something to you to mess with you and like joke around with you about it. I mean, but like on the other hand, like I would 100% look if I was an able-bodied, just because like you don't, like you see a very young person who is an amputee and like they don't seem like they seem completely fine with it. Like it's just like, I mean, I would just be fascinated by it. So that's why I don't really care when people look at me. I mean, it's just gonna happen.
Yeah. And I mean, like you said, it comes with some perks. I mean, I don't know if my prosthetist will be happy with me saying this, but I use a certain part of my prosthetic as a bottle opener. Of course, they're just Coke bottles.
Yep.
It's still 20.
People chug beer out of my leg. My prosthetist wouldn't be happy with that either.
Yeah. Well, hopefully they're not listening to this then. But yeah, it gives us this opportunity where we can have fun with it. And honestly, like if somebody would have gone back and said, oh, like, because I was covered by auto insurance. I was very lucky enough to do that. But if somebody would have said like, oh, like I'll make you go through this, but like it's going to cost like $20,000, I would obviously say no. now that I've gone through it, I'm like, okay, well, this is the best. Like I got a scholarship from this. I have a logo on the side of my leg. Like, I think it's really cool, and it's something that makes me unique. And that's all that everyone in the world needs to find, is something that makes them different and makes them proud. Like, you don't have to lose your leg to be proud of who you are. But I found myself through losing part of myself, which is very interesting. So, and I think we're the same way when we talk about that.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, I always say the same thing. I mean, it's crazy because like meeting amputees, like after they've kind of gotten through it, they say that they're grateful for it, or it doesn't bother them. Like they wouldn't change a thing about it, because you realize like what you can do with your life, and it doesn't even matter if you're an amputee. And so it sucks that like people who are able-bodied that don't have something like this happen to them, and they still think that they can't achieve their goals or achieve anything because of whatever reason. And I mean, all amputees, when we go through stuff like this, it just makes us stronger, and it just makes us adapt. And so that's why like everyone always says like amputees always adapt well to everything and changes and everything. I'm like, yeah, well, we had to change our lives and stuff like that.
And everyone goes through something. It might not be an amputation, but everyone goes through their battles.
Yeah.
All about fighting.
Exactly.
Backing away.
Exactly.
Well, I have a few just rapid fire questions, if that's okay. Because just to get to know you a little bit better. First question, what is your favorite book? If you have a favorite book.
So my favorite book, I mean, I have a favorite author, and it's Ellen Hildebrand. It's just like a lot of her books are based out of Nantucket, Massachusetts. And my teammate in college, that's actually her aunt. It's just like a lot of beach themed books and stuff like that. I'm not a huge reader, so I don't have a ton of favorite books, but I would have to say her. Movies? Okay. I am a huge movie person. Like I've literally seen every movie. I kid you not. That's tough because I don't really have like favorite. I just have like, I would say like all time favorite, like The Lion King, just like from my childhood and everything. I did like the remake and everything. But yeah, I mean, I love every type of movie. It's like, that's literally what I do with my free time, is watch movies.
Me too. It's dangerous for me sometimes, but
exactly. Yeah.
A concert or an event that you'll never forget?
Definitely Country Fest. I went.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
I went. When did I go to that? In 2018. I just went with like 30 of my friends, like taking a bus. Like it's just, the environment is always something so fun, but it definitely is. It takes like 2 to 3 days to recover after it, just because you're literally starting at 8 a.m. and getting home by like 2 a.m. So definitely a very great time.
We have a similar event. It's called Faster Horses in the Midwest. So
that's awesome. Yeah.
I was warming up my voice because I woke up pretty late, and I had morning voice in the afternoon. And I was listening to Morgan Wallen before you came on.
Did just hear that. I heard that when I came on. I heard some country music, so I loved it.
I gotta love some country, and I gotta love the people that rep it, because some people are like, oh, I don't really like it, and then someone's like, oh yeah, I do like it, and they're like, okay, phew, yeah, I love country.
Yeah. Oh, I kid you. I'll listen to everything, but like when I'm by myself, all I'll listen to is country.
Especially when the weather's getting better and the sun's out.
Exactly. It's like 70 degrees here today in New Hampshire, so I gotta rock the country.
I got sunburnt the other day, so yeah. What do you do when you want to relax?
When I want to relax, definitely just laying on the couch, putting on TV, watching movies, watching TV. That definitely is kind of what just gets me to, I mean, it's honestly what I do like after practice, like after a tough workout. I just go back, relax, just kind of just sit back and enjoy that. That's definitely something to do. I mean, I always want to say like hang out with my friends, but my group of friends are completely nuts. So that's always just a job itself.
Me too.
Yeah.
Okay. The last question I have on my little quick fire list is, what are you most grateful for?
I'm most grateful for definitely the community and like my friends, teammates, coaches, just everybody, especially my mother. I wouldn't be where I am today without her. The foundation would not be where it is today without her. I mean, she has a full-time job and also does a lot of work for the foundation. So just definitely having that community and that family to lean on is 100% why I'm at the where I am today.
That's very well said, and thank you for that. Saying it like that. You're a very humble person. Of course, you've done a lot of work, but you're never going to tell anyone that. But yeah,
I don't do as much work as everybody thinks. I have so much help. It's crazy. Like everything I've done in my life, I've never done it by myself. And I'm just going to be grateful for that. And I'm just going to ride it.
I like that. I like that. Well, is there anything else that you would like to say to the viewers, or just make a last comment if you want?
No, I just want to say thank you for having me. Thank you for all that you do for the community, amputee community. You guys are definitely making the world a better place, and just spreading the awareness on like some of the stuff amputees have to go through. That's always something that's really important, because I mean, everyone always thinks like, yeah, we get one leg and that's it, but no, that comes with different things. If we want to do different activities, we need different legs for it, and insurance companies don't like to pay for it, so you're kind of stuck on your own paying for $10,000 to $50,000 leg. And so just having that awareness, thank you guys for doing that. It's amazing.
Of course. And thank you so much for coming out and taking the time out of your busy schedule. With snowboarding and running and movies and all that, you know, it's kind of hard to track you down. But yeah, I appreciate you coming out, and I hope the viewers enjoy what they saw and heard.
Yeah, thank you so much, Sean, and thank you so much for everyone listening.
Of course. All right, goodbye, everyone. This has been the RIISE podcast, where inclusivity is our priority. Have a good one.